Yeah, okay. Good afternoon, teacher. In this occasion, we will present the chosen topic, which is EMBI. And next, please. Okay, first is introduction. And EMBI is the difference between the interest rate paid by the government Peruvian for its bonds with respect to the interest rate that pays, and the United States government for these bonds difference fluctuates over time. When the number is small, the perception that the market has about the risk of eventually an issuance of sovereign bond of Peru is small. What does this mean for Peru? Mainly, it's mean that is eventually the income. For example, in the years 2021, there was many expenses due to COVID, so we can issue bonds that relatively low rate and gives a peace of mind from the fiscal and financial point of view. And in this graph, Peru country risk closed the session on February 27 at 1.90%, adjust after closing according to EMBI Peru, calculated by the Bank of the JP Morgan Investment. Also Chile, 1.42 percentage points, reported the lowest country risk of the region, followed by Peru, 1.90 points, and Brazil, 2.42 points. Next, please. We are currently going through an internal and external crisis, but it's worth mentioning that our economy was affected due to the outflow of capital due to political instability, which is reflected in the country risks and affect the Peruvian. Interpreting in many ways to then see the impact on the national market affecting the country. In this graph, we see the evaluation that Peru currently was by Fitch rating is BBB. Next, please.
Okay. Factors that normally determine the increase in country risk. For country risk, we have three factors that we have determined. In the first place, due to the evolution of the fundamental economic variables of an economic associated with a domestic macroeconomic policy or the international context, such as the fiscal deficit, inflation, the level of net international reserves, and the level of economic activity, and the international interest rate, and others. Secondly, it responds to the domestic political situation. For example, during electoral period, there is a degree of uncertainty that increase the country risk. Last but not least, the country risk also raises to the possible risk in the region. For example, in the last 2 months, the regional country risk has been moving at the rate of Argentina as a country that has severe fiscal problems as well as Peru. Next slide, please. Okay, according to the Central Bank of Peru for June 2022, we have a total of 214 for August 2022, and we have a total of 211. For October 2022, we have an increase of 243. For December, it drove to 196. For February 2023, we have a total of 192. And finally, for April 2023, we have a total of 202, as we can see. Next slide, please. Okay, avoid country risk. Just as the influence of these regional events on our economy is inevitable, particularly on variables such as exchange rate and country risk. The need for the economic to maintain solid macroeconomic fundamental is also evident, particularly a level of international reserves and adequate financial supervision to avoid these risks. Likewise, a prudent monetary and fiscal policy must be maintained as the basis for reducing country risk and closely monitoring the evolution of liquidity in the banking system, as well as in the exchange market, particularly forwards operation. Next slide, please.
Okay, we are going to talk about the Peruvian case. Well, first we have to tell that the bond market is by far the largest security market in the world, providing investors with virtually unlimited invest options. Many investors are familiar with aspects of the market, but as the number of new products grows, even above experts uh, have to update the information. Once considering a means of earning interest, preserving capital, bonds have become a 100 trillion global market that can offer many potential benefits to investment portfolios, including attractive yields. A bond is a loan that the bond buyer or bondholder makes the bond issuer. Governments, corporations, and municipality issue bonds when they need capital. An investor who buys the government bond is lending money to the government. Like a loan, a bond pays interest periodically and repays the principal at certain time, known as bond maturity. Well, in this case, we are going to talk about the sovereign bonds 2023 and 2024. The sovereign bonds is in this operation has Peru have placed the total of 1,900 million, of which 1,000 million correspond to the reopening sovereign bond in 2023 and 720 million correspond to the reopening of the sovereign bond in 2042. The sovereign bond maturing in 2023 has been purchased by both local and foreign investors at price of 108%. The sovereign bond maturing in 2042 has also been purchased by foreign and local investors at a price 125%. The total demand for this instrument was 1,040 million, 2 times the amount placed. Of the total amount placed in both bonds, approximately 85% will have acquired by local investor. The result of this placement confirmed investor confidence in the macroeconomic fundamental to of the Peruvian economy. In addition, the following achievements associated with the operation are noteworthy. Exchange dollar-denominated debt for debt issues in local currency, reducing the exchange rate risk and therefore the vulnerability of the public finance to future adverse external shocks, improve strategic liquidity levels of benchmark bonds, and promote a more dynamic local capital market.
How does it determine the price of the bond in the open market? Bonds can be bought and sold in the secondary market after issuance, while some bonds are publicly traded through exchange. Most are traded over the counter between large broker dealers acting of their clients on their own behalf. The price and yield of the bond determine its value in the secondary market. Obviously, a bond must have a price at which it can be bought and sold. For more information of the yield on a bond in the actual annual return, an investor can be is to yield is based on the purchase the price of the bond and the coupon. The price of the bond always moves in the opposite direction of its yield above. In the case to understand this critical feature of the bond market is to recognize that price of the bond reflect the value of the income in the draw is to regular coupon interest payment. On the other hand, fixed interest rates, investors who hold older bonds can share a premium to sell in the secondary market. Next PPT, please.
Well, in conclusion, Peru inclusion in the emerging market bond index EMBI since 2003 highlights the country's relative stability and advantageous investment climate in comparison to other emerging markets. Peru has one of the lowest country risks in the area, a sign of this propensity to fulfill its bet obligation and the source of assurance for investors. So Peru's inclusion in the EMBI indicates that it is the desirable location for investors looking for exposure to emerging market bonds as a result of the nation adoption of sensible economic policies, evidence of policy stability and consistent economic growth. It is desirable alternative for investors wishing to diversify their portfolios. Next, please. Well, in recommendation, keep an eye on Peru's economic performance measures like GDP growth, inflation, unemployment, and fiscal health. This indicator can relay information about the nation's economic stability and help assist an investor in making wise judgments. Analyze political stability. This is keep abreast of Peruvian political deployments and evaluate the stability of the governments. So the governments or policies change may affect the investment environment. Thus, it is crucial to take into account how they can affect bond performance. Well, as I have mentioned, by considering this recommendation and concluding thoughts, this analysis of Peru economic, political, and fiscal landscape investors can make perform decisions when investing in Peruvian bonds. While the country has shown relatable stability and favorable risk indicator, it is essential to continually monitor and assess the evolving condition to mitigate potential risk and maximize investing opportunities. Thank you.